How you doing, movie fans, and welcome back to The Potato, where we're just a whirlwind of movie news and reviews from a couch potato. And if this is your first time here, I would really appreciate your support. Please subscribe. So in 1996, when the first Scream film debuted, I became a fan almost instantly. Writer Kevin Williamson and director Wes Craven really brought life back into the horror genre, which at the time in the mid-90s was starting to get a little bit stale. Well, now with the news of a fifth film in production, I kind of have mixed emotions about this. I mean, I am glad it's not another reboot because I feel like with Scream, that's just really not possible. I mean, part of the fun of these films is the murder mystery aspect of things and trying to guess who the killer or killers will be at the end of the film. And knowing that Stu and Billy are the killers at the end of the first one, that kind of takes the element out of that, don't you think? Unless, of course, they want to just rearrange things around and make somebody else the killer for the first film, but that would be more of a reimagining and not necessarily a reboot. And starting over wouldn't necessarily work either. MTV kind of tested the waters with this by producing a TV series. And while it did have enough of a fan base to last 3 seasons, it didn't exactly set the world on fire. So it looks like it's full steam ahead on Scream 5. But if Sidney Prescott is the focal point of this film, I gotta wonder, who the hell wants her dead now? Was it the friggin' mailman? Seriously, I feel like, everybody hates Sidney Prescott. Although I can think of one possible scenario that would make this film really interesting, and I'll share my thoughts on that at the end of this video. But first, let's talk about Scream 5 and what we know, and why some of this news actually sounds pretty encouraging. Let's take a look. So on a positive note, it's a good sign that the fifth film is in the hands of people who know how to make horror and comedy work. With the passing of Wes Craven in 2015, directing duties have now been passed to Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, who also co-directed the 2019 horror comedy Ready or Not. As for the script, Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream 1, 2, and 4, isn't writing this entry. Instead, Ready or Not writer Guy Busick, along with James Vanderbilt, who wrote the 2019 Adam Sandler film Murder Mystery and 2007 Zodiac, will step in. However, Williamson will serve as executive producer, so it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility for him to be used as a consultant to help with the story. In a statement released by the two directors, the two seemed very upbeat and excited too, by saying, quote, "It's impossible to fully express how much Wes Craven's work, and the Scream movies in particular, mean to us as fans and have influenced us as storytellers. Kevin Williamson's incredible stories have entertained and inspired us for decades, and we're insanely honored to have the opportunity to be part of the cinematic world Wes and Kevin so brilliantly created together. Jamie and Guy's amazing script does that legacy justice, and we're so excited to bring the next chapter of Scream to life." End quote. Now, it was rumored a while back that Blumhouse might be taking over after they successfully revived the Halloween franchise. But it's actually the reformed Spyglass Media Group that owns the rights to Scream. And with a second chance, I feel like Spyglass feels the need to prove themselves worthy of putting out a solid film again. So it's definitely in their best interest to give this film the best possible chance to succeed and not just rush it out the door for a cash grab. Well, just as important as the production team is the cast. Let's take a look. It has been confirmed that David Arquette will return as Dewey Riley. And while Neve Campbell hasn't officially signed on yet, she announced she's in negotiations to return. And it seems pretty imminent that she will. I mean, I don't think fans really have anything to worry about. Because while Neve has actually maintained a steady career outside of the Scream franchise, it's been mostly in television. So I'm sure she would very much welcome a return to the big screen. No word on Courtney Cox yet, but I would expect that she would return in some capacity also. Jamie Kennedy and Matthew Lillard have also commented on how they would love to return too, which has sparked lots of fan theories as to how they could, but those all seem pretty unlikely. Now look, I don't know how Scream 5 plans to rewrite the rules 24 years later, but at least things seem to be going in the right direction for them to accomplish that with this team they have in place. Now, as for the story, I do see this going one way that could be really interesting. What if at the end, when they reveal the killer, it turns out for this film, it was Sydney all along? And just years of constant betrayal and people trying to kill her, it just made her completely insane. And to explain her being attacked in this film, it turns out that it was just her hallucinating Ghostface for this movie, and she wasn't attacked at all. I think that would make things really, really interesting because she has to be just completely mentally fractured at this point, don't you think? Well, everybody, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Thanks.
Potato.